WV Uncommon Place. This podcast is a variety podcast that houses numerous series to cover mental health, empowerment, podcast framework, and various intimate series to get to know the hosts. Along with occasional movies reviews and dives in pop culture with our event podcast episodes. The Uncommon Place digs into bringing guests on that stories don't fit the mold and are very different. WV stands for the great state of West Virginia, and every quarter we cover something in West Virginia. Stacy and myself, JR, are your hosts, so please come along for this venture to our Uncommon Place.
Welcome to West Virginia Commonplace. Today, it's me, JR.
And Stacy.
Finally back from her being on assignment in all these other places in the world where she goes and discovers things. But we're going to talk about something simple today. After an alarming rate of people liking West Virginia Eateries, it was just something that I had done by myself. We are going to do the second episode of the West Virginia Eateries. But this time we're going to focus in on the store Bammie's. Bammie's is located in,
Sorry, we got some cords crossing here.
Yeah, we got some kind of disturbance somewhere.
Could it be your phone?
I think so. Something.
Too many electronics close to the Zoom recorder.
Could be. And there we go. That was a little technical hiccup. Sorry about that, guys, but it's weird. We're using these XLR cables, and they're highly sensitive.
And they're very long for whatever reason.
Right, because we should be at a bigger table, but we're not at a bigger table. We're just using a little short card table.
Have to try the kitchen table out next time.
Yeah, most definitely. When it's quiet.
Right.
Now, Bammie's, the story on it is, we both lived in St. Albans in
2015 for me. You've been there for a while.
Yeah, I've been in like 2013, 14, whatever, however long I've been there. And there was this amazing store on the corner of High Street. Well, I don't know that wasn't even High Street. West Main. West Main is what it was.
Cold River Road.
Yeah, Cold River Road. And that was 7-Eleven. 7-Eleven had everything in it. It had the French vanilla drinks and all that stuff. And you could go there and get your drinks, get what you needed. And after you got what you needed, it was kind of like you had to figure out what you were going to eat. You were either going to go to Geno's, which the Geno's wasn't always the greatest place to go, and then you had Bammie's. Now, Bammie's, when I first moved there, was a club. Like, it was like it wasn't even called Bammie's. The guy didn't own it then. It was like this hole-in-the-wall bar that the local St. Albans Knights go to, and if they're not called St. Albans Knights, then I don't know what they are. St. Albans people will just say that. But when Bammie's opened up, Bammie's brought in the food. What took me by I guess, like, what got me caught up was that they had a hot bologna sandwich. And the hot bologna sandwich was slamming. I didn't eat nothing else from there. My son Landon would eat the hot dogs, and they were pretty good, but over time, they started developing. They started getting great hot dogs. Their hamburgers were mediocre. I'm not going to say they were the best, but they started getting more and more food in there as they went along. And that's my story right there on Bammie's. Bammie's is a nice little spot to hit right there if you're in the West Main area. Stacy can elaborate a little bit more because she was fonder of this place because these people, she got sandwiches from them and different things like that, correct?
I mean, I worked at the 7-Eleven there across the road. It took me a while to get introduced to it, and my assistant manager at the time, actually, she's like, let's go get some hot dogs over there. I'm like, okay. I'm the type of person that I'm very picky when it comes to certain foods, and I don't like to pay for something if I know I'm not going to like it, so I usually don't like to try new things. And my first experience there was not good. I didn't like it. I think it was an off day, though. The hot dogs it's like they had sat there for a while, and my bun was extra soggy, because, they do the steam on it.
Yeah.
And they had a very limited menu when I had first went there, so I got hot dogs, didn't like them. I was like, heck, we make better hot dogs here at 7-Eleven. And it was a while later before me and Alyssa decided to go back across the street. She convinced me to go, and we went over there and got the food, and it was delicious. It was easier than, you work at one place for however long, you get tired of eating the same thing. And at this point, they started to do French fries.
Oh, yeah.
And then I think he did corn dogs, and like you said, the bologna sandwiches, and the sauce. You could choose between regular sauce, which is hot dog sauce, or chili without the beans, as some people like to call it. And then he had a spicy version. And from then it just became one of our staples. We'd go there at least once a week.
And that's one thing I want to talk about real quick, because there is a difference, and this episode is more or less not for the people in West Virginia, but it's more or less for the people that are not from West Virginia. There's a difference between hot dog sauce and chili.
Right.
Now, where I'm from, chili is hot dog sauce technically, but it's chili. The chili's drier. It doesn't have that much. It has a liquid consistency to it, but it's not slimy.
Right.
When it goes on the hot dog, it'll stay on top of coleslaw pretty nicely. And could you elaborate on what the hot dog sauce is in West Virginia? Because I am a transplant to it, but even to this day, I mean,
everybody calls it something different, and everybody makes it a different way. Like, one of my aunts, she'd just take manwich and throw it in her hamburger and call it hot dog sauce. To me personally, if it goes on your hot dog and it's called hot dog sauce. If it has beans and you're eating it as a soup, that is chili. Don't look at me and fight with me and say, I want chili on my hot dog, and get mad whenever I put soup on your hot dog.
Now I will say this. Now, if someone did slap manwich on hamburger and throw it on a hot dog, I'm not even eating that shit.
Well, she would add more seasoning and stuff like that, but it would be drier than manwich. Like, the consistency of the hot dog sauce that I made last time. It was thick like that. So it's not like she would only take manwich, but she would, take probably half a can of manwich to a pound of hamburger, add salt, pepper, garlic powder, whatever you can think of in it that she had on hand, and just tossed it together. It was good. You couldn't really, you could tell it was manwich, but it's better than the canned hot dog sauce with water tossed in it that we had today.
Yeah, no doubt in that. Now, I'll say this going back to Bammie's. Now, Bammie's is in an odd location. It's in a really sketchy place.
Well, I think they moved.
Do you think they moved?
I think I've seen something on the internet, but it's the internet, so you can't trust what you hear 100%.
But if you're definitely down in St. Albans, and not to make these quick episodes, but they're just little shorts that we do. Mm-hmm. If you do get a chance, that is one of the hidden gems there. There's other restaurants that are hidden gems, but that's our little special place that we went to, enjoyed it, and it's a place that you'll crave. It's something that comes back, because when you're in that area, to me, it's either go to Bammie's or you got to decide if you're going to go into Charleston and get a hot dog.
Right.
That far out, I'm not going to Hillbilly Hot Dog because it's just a little too far out my way,
mm-hmm.
but... And
they have different flavors. You can go to, let's say, Hot Dogtopia here in Charleston and get a hot dog. And then you can go to Hot Dogtopia in Parkersburg and get a hot dog. And they're going to taste different. Like I said, each person puts different seasoning and different amounts of seasoning in their sauce. Just what kind of hot dog they use, whether they're using the 100% beef or the chicken and beef or a mixture or whatever. The place that you love to eat at anytime we go to Virginia, their hot dog sauce / chili is actually made of turkey burger.
Yeah.
And we just found that out a couple years ago.
And that's a spicy hot dog.
It is. Oh my goodness, it is super hot. We'll talk about that one later. But
yeah.
With the whole, I'm sure y'all have seen it if you are from West Virginia. You've seen, what was it, the top 100 best hot dog places?
Yeah, by the West Virginia Hot Dog Blog, which I do have a problem with their list.
Right. Half of them places I haven't even heard of.
But it makes it compelling to go against their list if I'm in those areas.
Right. Because I can tell you there was probably 2 or 3 different places on there that we've been to. I'm like, well, that one was trash, so why is it ranked in the top 10?
And it seemed like with that list, though, not to go too deep into it, because we'll talk about it in a whole nother eatery episode. it was like the lower half, anything below Logan, West Virginia, it seemed like there was a lot of Hatfield McCoy hot dog places. Right. And we necessarily don't travel that often to the southern part of the state. I can actually count on our hand once, twice we've been to Logan.
Once,
yeah, to go to Walmart.
Right.
But that's for another day. I'm JR.
And I'm Stacy.
And this has been our one of our mini episodes for our West Virginia Eatery show.
And then don't forget, give us a follow on every social media handle out there. TikTok, Twitch, Instagram. We do have Facebook, not really into that too much. I believe we got the Twitter, LinkedIn.
Yep.
Make sure you're listening to all of these episodes, or at least download them. If you download them, let it run through in the background while you're busy or whatever, doing something, anything. Any little bit of help benefits us. I hear a lot of people say this on TikTok, so I'm going to steal it. It costs you nothing to share. It costs you nothing for a like. So even if you're not reading our Instagram post or something, or our TikTok, just hit that like button and help us out a little bit.
And on that note, we are signing off.
Please follow WV Uncommonplace on Instagram, Tumblr, Twitter, TikTok, where we have some great content, Facebook, LinkedIn. Hit up the merch store at oncommonplace.square.site. Join the email list from the website, and rate, subscribe, and give feedback from your favorite podcatcher. And lastly, thanks for listening, and tune into the next episode.